Hello, everybody. Yesterday, I did a song in my series of songs from albums I've produced. I did a song from an album that I had produced with a wonderful songwriter from Ottawa named Shelley Posen. It was an album of songs that he had written about Jewish culture. Well, it's interesting because while we were working on that album, I was in the middle of another project. This project was actually suggested to us by the author James Raffin, who's written a number of books about the Canadian wilderness, and he's an outdoor expert and an avid canoeist. He had suggested that we do an album of songs about canoeing. So we took him up on it, and we started working together, formed a company called Portage Productions, and started to collect songs. We had criteria that the songs must be Canadian, and we were looking for songs that had already been recorded, perhaps, by Canadian artists, and so on. Anyway, while I was working with Shelley on the Jewish cultural album, I happened to mention that this Canoe Songs project was underway. And Shelley said, well, I could write a song about canoeing. And I said, well, Shelley, we're putting this thing to bed in a couple of weeks, so you don't have much time. He says, oh, no problem. I can deal with that. So off he goes. And a few days later, he gives me a call, and he sings this song over the phone. And it is so good that we say, you're in. Okay. So we had him back to the studio and recorded this song for Canoe Songs Volume 1. And it's called When I First Stepped in a Canoe. Here it goes. When I first stepped in a canoe, I made a fatal mistake. I placed my heel to one side of the keel and pitched headfirst in the lake. I had no reason to think it would tip before you could blink, or take all your talents for keeping your balance, or else you'd land in the drink, which is what I proceeded to do when I first stepped in a canoe. When I first soloed in a canoe, I had no reason to learn that you sit in the bow, though I didn't know how you could tell the damn thing from the stern. I paddled the rest of the day in circles and growing dismay. I hadn't a clue that to steer the thing true, your stroke had to end with a J, which no one had taught me to do when I first soloed in a canoe. When I first kneeled in a canoe, I paddled with a languorous grace, which is all a mirage when you have to portage with black flies all over your face. As I stagger off into the trees, at least I'm off of my knees, which I haven't quite felt since the minute I knelt and my kneecaps turned into cheese, which is what they frequently do when you first kneel in a canoe. Well, the best thing about a canoe may be just what it is not, like big and excessive or loud and aggressive like a steamboat or a millionaire's yacht. It's at home on stream, lake or chute, and it won't harm a beaver or coot. It may take some labor, but like a good neighbor, it won't make noise or pollute. So when asked if you want to see do, say thanks, but I'd rather canoe. Now I have to skedaddle, geez, I wish these had a saddle, and paddle off in my canoe. When I first stepped in a canoe, Shelley Posen. That was from Canoe Songs Volume 1. Hope you liked it.